Hi, guys. Okay, so I'm really excited to be able to dig into the topic about social media for business versus personal and how to leverage it for your goals. So, first of all, I want to really just dive in like what the difference really is between like a personal social media and a business social media, and how even you as a personal person can use social media for your own personal brand and what that actually means. So, specifically, talking about social media for our personal use only is really like when you see people share just like the haps happening in their day and just like all of their family pictures, and like there's no actual like guidance of what you're wanting to have an outcome. You're just sharing to share, and keeping all of your family and friends kind of in the loop of what's going on with you. That's really, the fun aspect of like personal social media. Okay. Now, when we talk about personal brand, okay, so if you were a person and trying to leverage social media to build your brand, build your name, build your reputation, and really ultimately you have an end destination of what you want to have as an outcome, that's creating a personal brand. Meaning, so if it was for social media, if you were a hiring manager or a talent recruiter, this is a personal brand that other people, other candidates from any company, whatever you're working for, know you as a recruiter. You're showing up in your social space as a professional in this field, right? So that they see who you are. And that becomes really, really important when we talk about social media as a whole. Okay. So when we look at all of those different facets of social media and we see that there's so many capabilities that it can do, you have to decide, do I want to have a business down the line? Do I want to be able to turn my personal brand into a business? Because if we even look at, let's say, real estate agents, right? They themselves are their brand. Does that make sense to you? They themselves are the brand because they're the real estate agent. Okay. So they're selling their services. So it's definitely like a combination of two. It's business and personal because they're selling themselves as the brand. Now, for business specifically, okay, there are so many different ways to be able to leverage business sites on social media to be able to accommodate what goals you have in mind. So if you're looking to sell products or services, right? Or if you're looking to recruit, you're going to have a different strategy for both. And your business is going to go through different seasons that it's going to have different goals. It's not going to be the same thing all the time. You're going to be leveraging your social media sites to be able to tell a full story of your business for all of these different goals that you have. Okay. And it can't be all the same thing over and over again. So if you're recruiting, it can't be we're hiring all on your social media all the time. You have to be telling the rest of the story. You have to be showing your culture. You have to be showing why people would want to join this business. If you're selling a product, it can't be, let me just sell the product and put out just the product pictures and videos and things like that. You have to be selling the dream of whatever the product is and what the outcome is going to do for them in the long run. Does that make sense? Same with the service, or if it's a online course, what's the outcome? Why are you doing this? There are definitely ways to be able to utilize social media to be able to show your brand personality and have a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be super stuffy where it doesn't feel organic and like your business, but you have to be creative and you have to put in the effort to be able to show those different avenues of how to use social media. And you have to know the time and place and where to be able to utilize certain things. Okay. So that's the biggest thing that we're going to kind of dive into right now. So making sure that, again, if you are yourself a personal brand, and I believe everybody in this meeting is a personal brand, you have your own brand, and how you want to present yourself on social media matters, okay? Once it's there, even if you delete it, it's still in cyberspace somewhere. It is still able to be found. So just know what you put out there matters, and where you want to go in your future for your future goals matter. And you can start now. It doesn't matter what position you feel like you're in and can't get to that next step, or you'll get there eventually. Start now on your social media. Show up in this space as an authority in whatever industry and direction you want to go into. And even if that's not clear for you right now, you do have a niche, and you should really hone in on that and stay on that kind of platform and see what develops from there. Because the more content that you start to create and the more creative you are with that. And again, it doesn't mean you can't show your own, family and friends and all the things that are happening, but it's the where do you place those things is going to shift a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So here we go. So we're going to be diving into social media for business versus personal, and how to leverage it correctly to hit those goals. As you see, there are 4 different major platforms that we're going to talk about more in depth. And really, there's honestly so many more platforms that we're not going to talk about today. And I'm going to briefly kind of mention them at the end of really dependent on what your goals are, where you should probably focus your time. So we're going to start, maybe if I can move this forward. Okay. Oh, I'm at the end, of course. Okay, so we are going to start by diving into Facebook. So there are currently 2.93 billion active users on Facebook, and that's just in the first quarter of 2022. There are so many different ways to be able to utilize this platform. Now, specifically for businesses, you really want to kind of take that step back and really get engagement happening, because this is a really great place, again, if you're recruiting, to be able to even put ads and things like that on this platform. It has that ability. So you want to really be able to tell a wider tale. The biggest thing with Facebook specifically is that they want you to stay on their platform. So it doesn't necessarily do really well with like outside links to things. It will kind of not show those things to a lot of people. So really great great ways to be able to use this platform is like asking questions, showing behind the scenes, trending topics in your industry, branded graphics, tell stories of your business, customers or clients, videos, both short form and long form do well on this platform, product photos, infographics. Infographics, in case you didn't know, really teaches people about things. So it's a really great way to be able to utilize that aspect. Blog posts as well as industry facts. Those are really great things to be able to utilize Facebook for. Now, insights really help tell the bigger story. So as the business itself, it really helps you be able to see, optimal times to be able to post, as well as who your audience is and if they are actually like your target market. So it really like breaks things down, and you're able to see it on like the best performing posts, video stories, reels, and reels is new on Facebook and doing pretty well. But you're able to see all of the analytics behind all of those posts, so that you can really even see like who your gender or who your following is, like gender and age, all of those things. So that you can alter your strategy accordingly if you see that those are not who you're trying to target. So for example, if I was really going after women, and women was between a certain age range was my target market, I wouldn't want to have mostly men follow me, right? So you're in a total different age range. So you're really able to see who the target and who is really interacting and seeing your posts. Now, the next steps you're able to take is really knowing that a brand is much more than just a logo and some colors. You really need to be able to stay on brand, which means that includes like your message, the tone, the personality, as well as the consumers and followers being able to recognize that it is your business when they're just scrolling over something. So think about like Apple, Coca-Cola, Starbucks, even Subway. When you see an ad from them, you know that it's them before you even see their logo. So think about how you can create that type of brand for you and your business. That's the goal here. Then we're going to dive into Instagram. Instagram currently has 1 billion active users, but it's actually owned by the most popular network worldwide, which is Facebook. So it's definitely a combo, and you'll actually see they need to be used very differently. And Facebook really made sure that Instagram was a different type of platform, and you just get that different feel. But it's no longer just a platform for you to make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing. It's actually moving away from stuff like that. So you really need to be able to know how to be able to leverage it a little bit different. But again, it also has the ability to be able to post directly from Facebook to Instagram and Instagram to Facebook by like a click of a button. And for business specific, I'm going to gear you away from that all day long. You do not want to post the same thing at the same time on both platforms or on any platforms, honestly. You really, really don't. And it's really because people social media hop, meaning they go from Facebook into Instagram and vice versa. And if they're seeing the same exact content from you on both platforms, more than likely they're going to unfollow you because you're not creating something original, and they've already seen it. But it doesn't mean you can't reuse that content later. You absolutely can. But it should be a whole different week, whole different time, whole different reach that you're going to be getting. So top ways to use this is really going to focus on education, entertain, and inspire. So everything you do should be in one of those three categories. You're going to be able to build really close personal connections with your audience, which is amazing for this, and like the direct messages, as well as in your comment sections. Your reach is wider than just your following. And Reels is an amazing way to get that wider audience that's really outside of your network. Static posts are just like those branded posts and branded content, sales, highlights, Reels, stories. Those are all amazing ways to be able to use Instagram specifically. Now, highlights is a really great way to be able to have people go back and look at something. It's like it's like a folder, right? So you can put for business, like frequently asked questions, or about your company specifically. Like you're able to be really creative so that people can go and see these in whatever order you want to be able to show them. So insights is really important. It is only available really on business profiles, but you'll have so much in there if you use it. So you want to really make sure you utilize this section. It is very similar to other ones, but it will also gear your content to your target market. So really making sure that you pay attention to your insights and making sure that you do set your profile as a business profile. Next steps, depending on what phase in your business you are in and what your goals actually are, will tell you how to be able to utilize Instagram to the best of your ability. So showing up consistently on this site is going to be imperative for long-term success. You need to create a strategy and a plan to hit the goals you want. So sales, recruiting, clients, website clicks, whatever your goal is, you need to make sure that you set it up correctly. So making sure that your bio is set up to optimize who it is that you're looking for to be able to come and visit you and ultimately be on this journey with you and your business. So let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 66.8 million monthly active users in the United States alone. So it is a really great platform, but it is a much more professional platform. So it's unlike the other platforms we've already spoken about, and you actually need a lot less content on this site. You can post once a week and that would be fine. You can even post once every other week and that would be fine. But you need to be able to show up consistently. And that's really kind of the key point of all of these is consistency. But you need to really make sure that you figure out what consistency means for you and your business. So top ways to be able to use it, of course, recruiting. This is actually a major site that our businesses use to be able to recruit and post ads, to get kind of prime candidates to be able to join companies. Educate and inspire for sure. Blog posts, industry posts, motivational, business connections. So really connecting with people that you do not know that are either in your industry or similar positions, things like that, and outside articles. So this site actually does really well with outside links to different things. That's literally kind of what this is, as long as it's more of the professional standpoint. They are gearing more towards video content as well. So you're going to see more and more of that as that continues to develop. And they're trying to keep up with like the Joneses in the sense of Instagram and Facebook. So Insights is different on this social site than others. And really, again, it's like the one social site that you're going to want to make sure that your personal like page and your business page are actually connected. And so if you are part of a business, you're going to want to make sure that you acknowledge the fact that you work at that business and connect your profile with the business. It not only gives your personal page more credibility, but it also gives the business more credibility. So dependent on what your goals are and what the business goals are, this is really something that's very important to be able to optimize this site. And then the next steps to take is you're going to definitely, like I just mentioned, leverage your business on this professional site. Is you're going to want to make sure that you have those connections, not just in your business, but also within the industry as a whole. So it gives you more credibility as a business and even a professional if we're talking your personal sites. Quickly about Twitter, there are 217 million users. This is a very, very different site for businesses specifically, and I honestly do not recommend it, only because it really, yes, it keeps people informed by a moment aspect for your business and in the industry, and you're able to reshare posts within the industry. But to be able to make it work for your business, you need to be like constantly posting. So it's a lot of work and you have to show up regularly. And when I mean regularly, I mean like anywhere from 15 to 20 times a day. It's a lot. And so for Insights for this one, you're going to be able to post and understand more of like what your target market is looking for. The more you post, the better. And so you're going to want more engagement, top mentions, top tweets, engagement rates, and impressions are really going to be the main things that you're going to look for in your Insights. So if you decide that this platform is worth it for your business goals, you're going to want to make sure that, again, you optimize it correctly by having a mixture of different types of content. But again, in my opinion, if you're a startup company, probably not worth it because it's going to take a lot more effort to really keep it up to speed of where you really want it. Now, some of the other platforms that I really just briefly want to talk about is going to be like Pinterest. Pinterest is an amazing site because it's a search engine site. And so Pinterest is more like set it, forget it. And dependent on what your business goals are, and if you're trying to get them to go click to a website or a blog or whatever, like you're able to get those outside clicks. And it is incredible because it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It's actually not technically a social site. It's a search engine. It really is. So you're able to get a lot of saves and outside clicks because people are actually searching in that app. Like that's what that app is about, is searching for different things. So the biggest thing about that app, or excuse me, that platform is that you do your market research for keywords that people are actually searching for and being able to optimize it correctly so that you get those outside clicks. Now you're going to get thousands of views even if you don't have the followers. So it's incredible to watch those numbers go up and up and up. But again, you have to have those goals in mind of like what you want to obtain from that site. You can't just kind of go in and hope that it works because that site is a very smart site. It's that search engine. Okay. There's also TikTok. I love TikTok. I have like a love-hate relationship with it, honestly, but I love it because you are able to get into that wider audience that do not follow you. It's outside of like your friends and family. Okay, but you're able to create that message. And again, if this is a personal brand or a business brand, you're really going to want to be able to optimize it correctly. So not just doing those fun trends and things like that, but really being able to have the message. So if you're doing a fun trend, how can you relate that back to your personal message that you want to get across? So you're really able to, again, continue to market yourself and your business in the right direction. It doesn't always have to be you speaking at the camera to be able to be effective. It can literally be you doing a trend and certain words or whatever being able to relate, or a point of view from your business being able to be on the screen, which is an indirect way to be able to market, right? So it can be a combination of everything. And I think it's incredibly effective because you're getting outside of your normal circle, which are on your other social sites. So you're able to grow a whole lot faster. And if that is the goal of your business right now, is to get a bigger reach, then I highly recommend it. But to get a bigger reach on that site, you are going to need to initially start posting anywhere from 3 to 7 times a day. It's a lot of video content, okay? But there can be very short. And on some of them, you can actually get much longer videos. So you can get up to 10 minutes of video versus like reels and other things are like 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the platform, where TikTok was 3 minutes, and on certain profiles, it's starting to roll out 10 minutes because they're competing with YouTube. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Is like certain sites are, of course, always updating and changing, and it's really important to be able to utilize the video content or all of the like features from these sites, because they actually push out the people's content that are using their new updates. So don't go against the grain, go with it, and just utilize it to your benefit on how it can leverage your business to ultimately hit those goals. Okay. Now, another one that we have heard a lot about is going to be YouTube. YouTube is in a great place to put long form video. Now, for businesses specifically, it is a place where it needs to be a little bit more buttoned up, meaning that there's like stuff on the screen. It can't just be this long form video that's untouched, unfiltered, edited. Like it is an edited platform. Okay, so you want to really make sure it is buttoned up. And that's actually a really great place to be able to take that video of whatever it is that you're speaking. You're able to actually turn one long form video into multiple pieces of content for all of your other social media if you do it correctly. So you're able to actually take all of the words and upload it into a different online site, and it will then come up with all of the words that you said, and you can turn it into a blog. And in that blog, you can actually then post the video or like embed the video that you did to get them over to your YouTube to be able to see it there. You're able to take different pieces of your long form video and turn them into reels. You are able to also turn them into stories and like all sorts of, you can create 10 pieces of different individualized content from one long form video. Okay. And I could talk all day about that, but it's working smarter, not harder, and creating a really cohesive message across all of your platforms. And whichever platforms you use for your goals, you need to be consistent. You need to find consistency within that and really realize that if you have a business social account, you are not just posting funny videos or whatever of like your family or whatever, unless that's part of your brand. If that's part of your brand, how can you leverage this piece of content to your direct message? And if you go onto my social sites, you'll see like my kids are all over there. But if you look at any of the videos, I'm talking something bigger. I'm not just showing you my son making a home run. I'm talking about hard work, dedication, all of the things that failure, right? That go with life and understanding and the mentality that goes with that. Right? I'm not just posting, hey, look at my kid and look what he did. There's a lot more to it. And so again, if you're going to do it, if your family is a big part of your brand and your business brand, that's great. I love it. But make sure that you come up with the message that you want to get across with that. Make sure you're using the caption aspect on every one of these sites correctly. If certain sites do really well with hashtags, make sure you're using the correct hashtags to go with that, as well as the caption. If the social sites don't do well with hashtags, don't use hashtags. Know how many hashtags is too many hashtags. Know what you're doing. Really great ways to show behind the scenes of what's going on in the day-to-day aspect of your life and your business is going to be your stories all day long. It's showing the person behind your name, behind the brand. What are you doing on the daily that's making this business run? What's some mentality along with it? You're able to ask questions. You're able to do polls. You're able to do pictures. You're able to do quick videos, like 45 seconds in total, or just keep rolling. Just you're going to have to start over each time. But those things are super important. And if you're doing a video, have something on the screen. If it's captions, because most people are watching videos on silent. I'm included in that, okay? On silent based on where they are at. Maybe they're next to their spouse who's sleeping. Maybe they're next to their baby that's sleeping. So you want to make sure you have something on the screen that they're able to follow, even if it's on silent. So captions is a really great thing, or just big words of the main message that you're trying to get across. Whatever the case may be, you want something on the screen to be able to be visually appealing, because you're marketing yourself and your business. And again, dependent on what your goal is in the season of your business, you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, making sure that you're doing all the things and taking the extra time to make sure that you're leveraging towards the goal and not just posting content. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps.